Feeling goofy. All right. Susan is going to conference with me about my This I Believe essay.
First of all, I was glad that Dee asked me to conference with her because I enjoy her being around her ways, and her writing. And I enjoyed the writing. I felt like I could really connect to it. She started this, I believe, telling the reader that her husband recently had back surgery, Christmas Eve of all times. And it talks about, obviously it was an inconvenient time at Christmas Eve, having to spend Christmas in the hospital. But she expresses right away that she's grateful in the very first paragraph that his relief from pain was instantaneous. So from that point on, he's going to heal and get better. And then she goes on to talk about they live on a farm. They live on a horse farm, actually, and currently have about 21 horses at the farm. So maybe I would be interested in the context of the farm,
Okay.
like the breadth of it, to realize what you're up against with chores. And I can kind of relate because I have horses at home, but I have 3. And having 21 horses, that's a whole different ballgame. So maybe letting the reader know, like, to the extent of what you have ahead of you each day when you come home.
Okay.
So after that, obviously having back surgery, her husband is not able to do the farm chores. And I assume he was the primary farm chore with you helping. So now she's the primary farm chore. So it talks about... So she next gets into how he can't, obviously because of the surgery, no bending, lifting, or turning. And it's talking about how he's standing at the window looking out at everything he can't do. And talks about him watching V now take over and do the chores, struggle through the chores, but in a good way. What I would want to know here, like, I picture myself being him
Mm-hmm.
and looking out that window.
Okay.
And as a person who always has to have a to-do list, I'm always grateful for my health that I can do everything on my to-do list.
Uh-huh.
And if I were him, like, I wouldn't probably be just standing there. Does he pace? Like, is he, like, I would felt like I was locked up in a cage.
Uh-huh.
So I'm wondering, I know I get the feeling that he is empathizing with you or sympathizing with you with everything. He's helpless. He can't help you. But I would maybe wonder if he's feeling more of that. Like, is he feeling like, I'd be pacing, I wouldn't be standing. I would have a hard time, obviously I would come to terms with it, accepting that I couldn't do anything.
Okay. That's good to know.
Okay?
Okay. So let me give this back to you.
Okay. All right. So Via's a teacher. She's coming home after working with kids all day. And then she's rushing home to get into her work farm clothes. And I can relate to that as well. And I know the feeling, like right now it's cold and maybe the winter is kind of a factor in, initially wanting to go do the chores, but once you're out there, it's okay,
Mm-hmm.
and I get that feeling. So I can relate. She talks about feeding the horses, putting grain in their feed bins, dropping hay in the stalls, filling water buckets, carrying the 5-gallon buckets. Just as another horse person, are your buckets freezing now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so maybe like having to deal with the extra,
Cracking the ice out of it.
yeah, just the extra effort that winter takes when you have horses.
Okay.
And I don't know, like, if your dogs are following you. Like, my dogs are, well, one is trying to jump up, get the horse feed, chasing the cat. So maybe what's going on around, because I know you have other animals as well. Like what you're seeing around you. Are there any impatient horses? Like, you know what I mean?
Details.
Pawing. You just can't get around fast enough sometimes for everybody with different personalities. There's Cherokee waiting patiently while Paulo's, has his head out the door pawing.
Goodness, I'm having typing spasms. Okay.
This is cool, driving the truck through the pastures to feed hay to the horses. That kind of reminds me of a Western thing,
Mhm.
actually. Feeding the chickens, fill the stock tanks. I don't know what that is.
Oh, we have outdoor water troughs,
Oh,
and so I have to put a 35-gallon container on the back of the truck, fill that with water, drive over to the stock tanks, dump the water into there, and we have 4 outdoor stock tanks
Wow.
that are heated, so I have to do that.
wow. So I don't know if I didn't know what that was, maybe other people can't picture what that is. Maybe
Okay.
they might not know what that is.
Okay.
And she used in the gloaming, which is very cool phrase. And I like in the next paragraph, like she's talking about, she's being honest with her attitude. I mean, I know she's not afraid of hard work. I know that about her. But sometimes, like, this is overwhelming when you have all this to do every night, even though you enjoy animals and everything. But I like how you were honest in this paragraph. And it's really cool, the owl, the hoots of the owl, she brings that in for the first time. And sometimes when I'm at night, I hear owl hoots, so I kind of am intrigued by that and comforted by that for whatever reason, and you seem to have the same feeling as well. And then obviously she gets into bringing herself back from a bad attitude, because she doesn't have a bad attitude for very long, about putting things back into perspective. And then when you're outside at night in the quiet, cold, and the stars are out, and that is a special time tonight. I find myself feeling that when I head back towards the house. So here you're talking about like the sounds and the feel and the quiet, kind of just put their arms around you and comfort you and bring you back. And the squeaking under my boots of snow no longer makes me impatient. And then this is nice that you can see the deer creeping out of the woods and Orion in the eastern sky, because stars are a good feeling outside. And then I was wondering, as I was my mood of impatience, I didn't know my feeling of being put out vanished. Okay, so here you're connecting that again. So your impatience is going away, and then now the gratefulness can move in. And grateful mood is lighter and anchored, present. I believe in saving the pause. And I do like your ending about kind of wraps it up.
Does it have, if you're sharing this with, if I were to share this with my students for this, I believe, does it have a very clear statement of what I believe in it?
Well, I think the essays have different personalities. I think some of I believe, essays, it's a strong statement at the beginning, but I like a subtle statement as well. And I can clearly, after you state the I believe in savoring the pause and being able to hear owls calling in the twilight. I mean, that kind of, to me, ties everything together in a subtle way.
Okay.
So I get it.
Okay.
I get what you do. I get that.
Great.
Yeah.
All right, so you think I need to add more details about the farm, the number of horses, how Lauren feels when he's looking out the window. It's true, I could definitely talk about, the horses standing at the gate snorting, saying, let me in. Great, all right, I will go and do that. Thank you. Thank you very much for doing this and doing this.